Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. The Wiseman Paul Heyman had a message for the WWE Universe ahead of the Tribal Combat match between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. The match will seemingly headline WWE Raw's Netflix premiere on January 6, 2025. The OTC Roman Reigns recently challenged the Bloodline's leader, Solo Sikoa, to a Tribal Combat match at Raw's Netflix premiere. The huge match will determine once and for all who's the tribal chief. Paul Heyman has now shared a message for the WWE Universe. The Wiseman is incredibly close to Roman Reigns and will be the first to know of any developments and inside scoops as the match looms closer. He had the following to say to the fans in his latest Instagram story. Get the inside scoop on Roman Reigns vs. Solo Sikoa in their Tribal Combat match when WWE premieres on Netflix. Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns reunion. Earlier this year, Solo Sikoa made a bunch of massive changes to the Bloodline. In a massive shocker, he kicked Heyman out of the faction. Back then, Roman Reigns was on a WWE hiatus. The OTC finally made his way back to WWE TV at SummerSlam 2024 and helped Cody Rhodes defeat Sikoa in an undisputed WWE title match. Mere days before Survivor Series, War Games 2024, Heyman made a big return to WWE and introduced CM Punk as the fifth member of Roman Reigns' team for the men's War Games match. At Survivor Series, War Games 2024, Reigns' team defeated the Bloodline and Bronson Reed in the men's War Games match. Now, Roman is gunning for the Ula Fala and wants to take back his rightful spot as the tribal chief. It would be interesting to see what happens when these two superstars finally lock horns on the Raw premiere on Netflix and beat the tar out of each other. In the dimly lit backstage corridors of WWE SmackDown, Paul Heyman stood with a solemn expression. The self-proclaimed wise man of the Bloodline was visibly burdened by the enormity of what was to come. A tribal combat match between Roman Reigns, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and Solo Sikoa, the enforcer of the Bloodline. It wasn't just a wrestling match. It was a clash that would determine the very future of the Bloodline and the Samoan dynasty's hierarchy. Heyman, dressed in his customary dark suit, with a crimson tie symbolizing the blood that bound the combatants, approached a camera crew. The air was thick with anticipation as he began to speak, his voice a blend of authority, emotion, and the unmistakable cadence of a storyteller crafting history. Ladies and gentlemen, Heyman began, his hands clasped together tightly. My name is Paul Heyman, and tonight, I do not speak as an advocate, a manager, or even as the wise man tonight. I stand here as a messenger, a voice for the legacy of the Anoa'i family and the bloodline that has given us the greatest champions this industry has ever seen. The camera zoomed in, capturing the intensity in Heyman's eyes. This Saturday, at WWE Tribal Clash, we witness an event that transcends titles, rivalries, or victories. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, bound not just by blood but by a sacred oath to uphold the Samoan legacy, will face each other in a tribal combat match. This is no ordinary match. This is warfare ordained by heritage, where respect, honor, and supremacy will collide in a way that no WWE Universe member has ever seen before. Heyman paused, his voice trembling slightly, as if he were grappling with the weight of his next words. I have served as the wise man for Roman Reigns for over 3 years, and in that time, we have rewritten history. Roman has crushed legends, shattered records, and unified championships. Solo Sikoa has been a loyal enforcer, a man of action who has stood in the shadow of his tribal chief, protecting the sanctity of the island of relevancy. Heyman's tone darkened, his voice now echoing with an ominous edge. But loyalty, like blood, can be tested. The cracks within the bloodline have grown wider, and what began as whispers of dissent have turned into roars of defiance. Solo Sikoa, a man of few words but devastating actions, has challenged Roman Reigns, not out of ambition, but out of a deep-seated belief that perhaps it is his time to lead. Heyman looked directly into the camera, addressing not just the WWE Universe but Roman and Solo themselves. Solo, you have been the silent pillar, the storm that protects the island of relevancy. But in this tribal combat, You seek to claim the mantle of tribal chief. Do you understand the burden you are asking to bear? The weight of the crown that Roman Reigns has worn with unmatched dominance? Are you prepared to not just fight your brother, but to destroy him for the right to call yourself the head of this family? Heyman's voice cracked, betraying his internal conflict. And Roman, he continued, you have been the face of this industry, the undisputed tribal chief. But have you considered what it means to fight solo? This is not Drew McIntyre. This is not Cody Rhodes. This is your own blood. The brother who stood by you when Jay and Jimmy walked away. Can you summon the resolve to crush that which you love for the sake of maintaining your throne? Heyman stepped back, his body language exuding both reverence and dread. This match is not sanctioned by WWE. It is sanctioned by the elders of the Samoan dynasty. It is their decree that the tribal chiefship must be decided in the ring, under the harshest conditions. There will be no interference, no allies, no escape. Only the sound of flesh meeting flesh and the silence of one man's defeat. The wise man's voice grew softer, almost a whisper, as he delivered his most poignant statement yet. I have seen many battles in this industry. I have watched rivalries destroy friendships and feuds shatter families. But this is something different. Tribal combat will not just determine who walks out with the championship. It will redefine the Anoa'i legacy forever. And as much as it pains me to say this, it will leave scars that even time cannot heal. As Heyman collected himself, he turned his attention to the WWE Universe. To those watching around the world, I urge you to understand the gravity of what you are about to witness. This is not a spectacle. This is not sports entertainment. This is a war rooted in tradition, where the stakes are not measured in titles or accolades, but in the very soul of a family. You may cheer, you may boo, but know this. When the dust settles, the bloodline will never be the same again. Heyman took a deep breath, his expression now one of resignation and acceptance. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, if you are listening, know this. Whatever happens in that ring, there will be no going back. The elders have spoken, the lines have been drawn, and the battlefield awaits. May the strongest prevail, and may the Anoa'i legacy endure. As Heyman finished, he bowed his head briefly, a rare moment of vulnerability for the man known for his unshakable confidence. The camera panned out, showing him standing alone, the weight of his words hanging heavy in the air. The fallout of Heyman's message. The WWE Universe erupted with speculation and anticipation following Heyman's emotional declaration. Social media buzzed with predictions about the tribal combat match, with fans torn between loyalty to Roman Reigns and admiration for Solo Sikoa's rise. Backstage, Roman and Solo watched Heyman's message separately, their expressions unreadable. For Roman, the stakes were personal and professional. For Solo, it was an opportunity to carve his name into history. The tribal combat match loomed, not just as the next chapter in the Bloodline saga, but as a pivotal moment that would echo through WWE history. Paul Heyman, ever the master of the narrative, had ensured that the world understood the gravity of what was at stake. As the countdown to WWE Tribal Clash continued, one thing was certain. The battle between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa would be a defining moment, not just for the Bloodline, but for the entire WWE Universe.